A country grappling with a persistent image problem doesn't bode well for tourism. So can Israel bring back visitors in the large numbers it enjoyed 7 years ago?
Also in this week's programme, the plans to save one of this region's most famous tourist attractions. But could the proposed cure do more harm than good? And we spend 24 hours in Tel Aviv. A country with a mystical past, a disputed present, and an uncertain future.
In the run-up to the millennium, hopes were high here for record numbers of visitors piling into the country for a choice between sun, sea and sand, or spiritual fulfillment and sacred sites. And for a while it seemed those dreams were coming true. But then the underlying tensions between Israel and its immediate neighbours, the Palestinians, and with some of its own Arab citizens, came out into the open. Suddenly, the Israeli tourist sector found itself in desperate straits.
A busy morning at the marketplace in the Christian Quarter in Old Jerusalem. From postcards to authentic Arabic coffee shops and clothes stalls, all these traders are always badly hit in the aftermath of terror or war. And that could affect Arabs, who make up a fifth of the country's 7 million population, as much as Jews.
What are you looking for? I'm looking for sandals. Nice.
It has been very quiet, yes. In the war, it was very quiet. Because of the war with Lebanon, you know, it was a little bit quiet.
How do you feel about that when things like that happen? How does that affect you?
Well,
when you find about, when a war takes place or there's terrorism?
What I can do, I'm just waiting, waiting for peace.
Peace is good for business.
Yeah, it's good for everything, for life also, for business, for everything. Peace is nice,
The slide in the fortunes of Israel's tourist sector began in late 2000.
Tourism peaked in the millennium. It was about 2.7 million and expected to pass even the 3 million. Then the Intifada started in October, which the tourism started to drop. The lowest number was about 800,000, going down from 2.7 million to 800,000 in 2002.
And last year, when bitter war broke out in the north between Israel and Lebanon, a 50% drop in tourist numbers immediately followed. The biggest reason, not so much politics as fear.
I'm sure there are some people who have their opinion for or against the government. Some people come here because they want to support the government and support the Israeli government and the Israeli state. And some people, we don't see them, avoid it. But since the politics of Israel are constant, okay, it's not that we fluctuate. So this fluctuation mainly that you see, it's mainly because of terror events. Tourists are very sensitive what goes on in the factory of tourism.
It's not just the Israelis. Even worse hit has been the fledgling tourist sector in Palestine.
We tried to sell Bethlehem as an excellent place and a safe place for pilgrimage and tourism. This has increased tourism and sleeping over in Bethlehem for a few months, but then we got the war in Lebanon and the political situation which did not really help us. My message is, come over, help this city. Just stay in our hotels, eat in our restaurants, and we will be very thankful. And it's cheaper than going to Spain or Greece or the Bahamas.
But there is some hope for the region. Just like the Holy Land and the Dead Sea, the popular beach resort of Eilat has benefited from being sold as a destination distinct from Israel itself.
Eilat is being marketed as Eilat, and some people are not aware of it that Eilat is really in Israel. So Eilat has an advantage because it's geographically away from the center of Israel, and it's being marketed as Eilat, which gives you a good example that if you market correctly, you can overcome problems.
Is it not true that in a funny kind of way, the best way for you to sell tourism in this country is to not mention Israel? You can sell Eilat, you can sell the Holy Land, but don't mention Israel.
No, people know it's Israel. That's not true. But Eilat is a brand, and you have charter flights straight to Eilat. So people can enjoy that part of the world separate from anything else. And of course, it's the southern tip of the country. It's quite far away from the center of the country.
But recent events show that even Eilat isn't immune to terrorism, and that can deter regular holidaymakers from Europe.
So what do you do when many of your potential customers are either too frightened to visit or disapprove of your government's policies? Well, salvation can come from the most unlikely sources. If your sun, sea and sand crowd are dwindling, then never fear, because faith, albeit a very different one from your own, can pull you through.
Thank you for what you did in this place.
Evangelical Christians today, like this group from Louisville and Kentucky, make up 1 in every 3 tourists to Israel. In the US, huge rallies have been held to recruit the Christian right to support the Jewish cause. A strange alliance for some, but not the evangelicals themselves.
We're not afraid. It is safe here. I think sometimes it's more dangerous in New York or London or Chicago or some of the cities where we live. But actually, if you follow the guides and you stay in the areas where there's not unrest, Israel's a very safe land. We actually spend thousands of dollars. And the people who come, they spend money. But you know, we spend this not only with the Jewish people, but we also spend it with the Arab people. And so it's not like we are enemies of the Arab people, because we're not.
The next big idea is a huge Christian theme park next to the Sea of Galilee.
Some of the larger ministries in the United States are pooling together and joining together to create something that would be more vivid and something that would really help explain the holy sites here in the Holy Land, and I hope it comes to pass.
The evangelical market is a very important market. They come with the priest, okay? So you don't have to invest in each individual. You go to the priest, you go to the church, and the priest brings the group, okay, with him, and basically they tell each other. The information goes from mouth to ear, and you don't have to invest in advertisement. It's marketing, it's easier this way.
Of course, for the tourism industry, a visitor is a visitor, and the priority is to ensure they have a good stay and return back to their homes as ambassadors for Israel. And that means standards of service have to be high. This hotel, the American Colony in Jerusalem, is regarded as a jewel in the crown. And for business, this one, the Sheraton City Hotel in Tel Aviv, is hard to beat. But its boss, a veteran of the tourism industry, feels improvements to the sector as a whole can only follow a big budget marketing campaign to boost visitor numbers, not the other way round.
We need more hotels in Israel. We need more nice hotels, more modern hotels. But all these will come after the traffic will come. And if the traffic comes, the hotels will give all the solution. I don't think that we are going to suffer of a problem of the hotels. We have the supply right now. We have enough hotels to have 3 to 3.5 million visitors right now. We need the visitors. So first of all, we should go for the marketing campaign, for the advertisement campaign, and then we shall go for all the rest.
The machinations of Israel's unique political situation means that the tourist minister's job has changed hands 10 times in a decade. It annoys the industry, but in spite of this, there's a belief here that Israel can emulate other countries and ride bad publicity.
There are 4.5 million Russian tourists who visit Turkey every year. Turkey is an hour and a half from here. There's no reason in the world why a country like us, which has 1 million Russian-speaking people, cannot host at least an equivalent number of tourists. So there are great markets waiting for us. We are focusing there, and we are seeing already an immediate upsurge.
With a vibrant culture, a booming economy and foreign investment at record levels, Israel is in good shape. But reviving the country's tourism fortunes is now seen as critical to the country's global image. The hard work to achieve that has just begun.
Stay with us, because still to come on Fast Track.
The Dead Sea is drying up, and so too will this region's fortunes if there's not swift action. And the best places to pitch up and party in Israel's 24-hour city, Tel Aviv.
So don't go away.